Welcome back to the Dave's Diary, never-ending, always producing yak Dave's Diary set of videos. Back out here, it's the afternoon, mid-afternoon, last day of autumn, first day of winter tomorrow, 20 degrees. Don't you just love climate change? Yippee! Well, not so much, but out here to do a little bit more. I was just contemplating, I've been loading a few videos because I've got a lot to load, but I really did enjoy, if that's the right word, I think it is, enjoy the process of cutting those panels down. The final dimension still has to be done with the router, the dimensioning router set up, but when I was loading the videos and it was the last one I loaded was me still talking about drilling and then tapping out the holes that actually go to create the triangulation method, the bars that create all of these holes, that locate the holes or make a mark in the panels for me to be able to drill all the holes. And I realised just how far I'd come along since those videos, which were created at the beginning of this year. Now that we are about to go into the 6th month, the beginning of it, so we're almost, like in another month's time, half the year is gone. And I had been thinking that I hadn't really got very far because I'm still dithering about assembling some of the machines and what have you for the workshop. But then I realised, no, I've actually done quite a bit of work to get to this stage, and often we don't appreciate that work until we, recount it like I'm doing in the videos. And the biggest, the significant step forward, not anticipated or thought about to any great extent, was the use of the MFT style of top pads in this situation here for the miter saw. And it's not simply that, because I had this sort of arrangement in a much more simplistic form back when I had the old miter station, but it's just been the inclusion of accuracy, flexibility of the miter saw in its kind of like static position here, but still be able to use it to cut miters, utilising the add-ons so that I can put it on there and pivot it round and, cut my miters, something that you can't do in a lot of situations. Now, one of the things and why I created this video was I was also recounting, and I loaded a video talking about the use of a sander, not necessarily this size or quality, but the small bench-sized ones, one that's actually I've got in there underneath stored away for maybe future use. But it was being able to cut accurately an angle on a piece of wood like that can then be used as a jig to make something else, another item. In fact, it was a what I'm terming an interface plate for a potential geodesic dome construction method that I'm fiddling with. And it's all of these things working together, nothing complicated, and as I mentioned, you don't have to have a machine this capable. You can use one of the smaller benchtop type ones, but the whole point is there's nothing about this that's particularly expensive or not achievable by the average woodworker, me. And the output is more, the quality or potential is much greater than I had anticipated. So, yippee. And it's almost like I fell across the approach, and I'm not taking away from anything that other people have done in a similar vein or area. I don't mean that. I'm just saying that I fell across it without any great input by me, just by following a single idea, MFT top, into a MFT style of top, and all the other items or parts, components, accessories that can be used for it. I also loaded a video talking about extolling the virtues of using the MFT top itself or a pad like this to go onto, like in this situation, or go towards making a jig to allow me to make other items, swinging around, like for our, and kicking the bucket in a good way, like that there. And there are different sizes, that one and that one down there, the blue one and the grey one. And to be able to do that easily without driving me nuts, I need a jig. And that there is a fine example, you won't be able to see it, but I will, is that there's a dislocation of that brace, that angle there, to the actual top rail. That will disappear in the new iteration that I'm making with the jigs. Yay. And even though we pour ourselves into it, this is an early prototype, even though we pour ourselves into it, we sometimes, we could benefit by having a different approach. And that's what I'm kind of alluding to, is that when we've got something like this, the miter saw, dual miters on it, the MFT's top, this rail guide gauge fence gizmo, that is its full name, just being nice. But in combination, we wind up being able to do the things that were onerous before. We start doing them very easily. Yay. Now, there's a guy, I wished I could remember his name. He's very, very successful, and he started out making knicky-knacky things, breadboards or phone holders, etc., and he, at home, while at school, I believe, and then he turned it into a full-flown business, it's multi-million-dollar business, just by getting better at what he already was doing. And then he was getting orders of the number and, what would you call it? Not the complexity, but he had to make them and ship them and package them and do all the rest of it. And it was that incrementally, the incremental progress that he was able to achieve to get him to where he was going. This, while not my goal, hey, if it turned out to be a good idea to make some of these things, you'd want your processes to be as easy as possible. Returning to this, and why I said I actually enjoyed, probably for not the first time, but I appreciated it greatly, being able to cut that number of units quickly and accurately, and why the need for having processes and tools in combination that allows you to do that. I said that I'm going to be dimensioning this down with the dimensioning router setup that I've got, still will, but you could see how you could make one cut, two cuts, get everything identical to the size you want, and then do your final processing, all with the combinations of the MFT tops and standard flaming tools. So, yay. One of the things, so that's, you can hear my tone, probably. I was quite happy with my lot, just doing those few cuts. Things were working the way they should, and quickly. And in fact, one of the videos just before this one, I actually put yours down and took a shot. And I cut 3 of the panels in quick succession. And it wasn't like, I'm doing it really fast to show you how clever I am. Not at all. I was going no faster than I would have had I been just doing it normally, which I was. And you could see that within a couple of minutes, I'd cut 3 of those panels. You're going, oh, whoopee. But when you've done it before and it's taken longer and it wasn't that easy and probably not as accurate, you can probably appreciate that I do appreciate having good process and outcomes. Hey, I know, I go on, but yeah, it it really is there for you to, like trial it yourself and see whether you get the same sort of benefit, whether it's real or, or perceived or real. It's up to you. But yeah, I'm happy. So with that, I'm going to cut some more stuff down and become even more happy. How's it? Yeah, I've got these ones here, these white ones. These ones here and those ones there are all identical widths, 480. And I probably will look at how much of this I can cut down to 480, these being the shelves, some fixed, some removable, adjustable. So again, having so many cuts, being able to be done with one setup, not having to move big heavy panels around, that's just got to be a plus. So yeah, well, there you go. There was all that. And there'll be all of that also cut down within the next 10-15 minutes. Yippee. Righty-ho. I will see you in the next one. Okay, see you later now. Bye.